Now, Grant, when we published the first Cityscapes, which was 1977, I think,
Yes.
we outsigned Muldoon and Lambton Key Whitcombs.
Yes.
And I was on a high for about a week. I bored people silly. But it was my first book, you see, whereas it was your second.
Yes. Yeah.
How come you did Hometown?
When I got back from overseas, I noticed that there was a whole lot of Wellington all being knocked over
Right.
in the area that I lived or travelled, Berhampore to town and living in around Cuba Street and all that. So I decided to do my almost like the bus route from.
Do you remember any particular ones that you were upset by going?
No, I don't. I was just.
Were they just cottages?
They were some of the ordinary, just the ordinary houses, but it also, at that stage, included some Thorndon ones,
Right.
and some other inner city ones, which I thought were disappearing. And I was trying to keep...
Was Lambton Key still intact then?
Pretty well.
Because that was, to me, the biggest disappointment, those Victorian wedding cake retail shops.
Yes. Yeah.
There must have been 20, I don't know, I never counted them. Hill, the bootmaker, and Ferguson and Osborne.
I've got
all of which we've got in here.
Ferguson and Osborne shot from here too. Could you?
And did you have a publisher when you did this, or did you just do it on spec?
The publisher, through John Drawbridge, came to me, which was Anne
Mallinson.
Anne Mallinson.
Yeah. Well, she did our first Cityscapes.
That was the Hicksmith brand.
Yeah.
And they were the first ones to publish.
Well, I remember Anne Mallinson, after we'd been running this for 6 months, I think.
Yeah.
We'd done about 20 or 30. She said, could you do a book within 6 months, which they'd never done, because in those days it took a year to do a book.
Yeah.
So we broke a record there.
Yeah, oh, well.
And this went on for 7 years, this series.
Oh,
is that the one?
No, sorry. Sorry, Dave.
No, that's okay. You're looking for the
down on the
Mary and the Angels, are you?
No, down here, this other side.
There we are, well done.
Oh, is that it?
Yep.
Which one?
Oh, that I regard as one of my fine, a good
Ferguson
drawing.
and Osborne, an old-fashioned stationers.
Yes.
They used to have the string coming from the ceiling 20 feet to wrap up everything in brown paper.
As you pull it off.
They never changed, and they were there until, I suppose, the 80s?
Ages and ages. And you go in there and you would find the little rubbers and all sorts of other kind of stationery that had long gone.
And it was very, very high stud, 20 feet, I think.
Yeah.
And
yes.
They had a ladder. These old geezers climbing up to. You want that book up there? Yes, all right.
Mr. and Miss, Mr. and Miss Ferguson and Osborne.
But they were all bowled very, very quickly when Wellington got this mayor from Christchurch who didn't seem to like old buildings.
He didn't.
He drew them. He liked drawing them.
Yeah.
But when we came to do this at the Evening Post, I'd seen Grant's first book, and I had to fight because I thought there was a charm about his drawings that the others lacked.
Well, that's very sweet.
And here's the proof. There's 244 cityscapes that we did over 7 years, and many of them have gone. I think about 60 have gone out of.
I think that.
And the ones that have survived are partly, I think, due to some of the publicity surrounding these drawings that Grant did, such as he mentioned Thorndon.
I think they were, yeah.
And that Thorndon was the first designated zone.
Was it?
A heritage zone, the only one, in fact, I think that is in the country.
Oh,
yeah.
All those lovely old buildings in Sydney Street West and that
well,
area,
yes.
Tinnacorry Road,
Mm.
all of which we recorded in Cityscapes.
Right.
Delightful, wonky old cottages that
Wasn't
were
it
built for soldiers.
the Anchorage in Patanga Prison, is it?
Yeah, well, that's my cousin lives there, Diana Priestley.
Right.
That was Holmes' shipping line,
Right.
and he allegedly buried a whole lot of figureheads from sailing ships in the garden.
Oh.
And I got interested in this and went down to the museum looking. They've only got one figurehead left in the Museum of City and Sea.
Oh, that's it. Well, I think I've got a drawing of that one
As well.
The Helen Denny, it's in us,
Yeah,
it's in here.
yeah. That's right.
But apparently they all rotted in the garden.
Oh.
Compost and so on built up over them.
Gee whiz.
And what a loss, because these were magnificently carved. However, at least we've recorded the fact they were there once.
That's absolutely true.
It,
Did you manage to get a thing there, Bryn?
what were some of your favourites, Grant? I mean,
In drawing?
in drawings, like, I mean, I'm very fond of this one.
Right, hang on.
The old government building.
That's true. A number of the.
But I like some of the quirky things we did, like the writings on the wall. Clifton Terrace School, you know?
Yeah, right.
It's still there, a little crumbling old wall that people carved their initials on, and some of them went on to become well-known people.
Right.
Pumpkin Cottage, for instance, out at Silverstream, where they used to go painting. You know, James Nairn and all those early painters used to go out there and gather. Now that should have been a heritage cottage, preserved as a
Right.
like they did with Rita Angus's, but alas, it's gone.
That's talking about.
I loved Grant's drawing of the Peyton Slip area, particularly with the ship and that wonderful swirl of wood.
That is one of my favourite.
I think that is an
as
epic.
well. I would have to put that down as one of the favourites.
But it's very hard to pick a favourite because there's so many.
Well,
We started off with,
oh, I know which one I really like was the one out at Seaton, Wigtoff Cottage,
right.
which I thought the angle was right and its little setting with a bit of foliage round the back.
Is it that one there?
Wigtoff Cottage. Is that? Yes, that's it. I really like. Oh no! Oh,
Never
not bad. No.
This is a good way of testing its resilience.
But that, as a drawing, I really would be very proud of that one to be exhibited as a architectural drawing.
Right.
I think it's captured.
You did a lot of palings, picket
Yes.
fences. I suppose because there's a lot of them
I
around.
did, yeah, a lot of that. But that one, I really like. I think that.
There are some things that are quite significant, like we were talking the other day about the way you do trees.
Yes.
With it's only a kind of a hint of them,
Yes.
and yet there's the tree.
Yeah, that's right.
And I liked your boats as well. Things like the
Well,
crayfish
the-
pots and the boats out
Yeah.
at Island Bay.
That they're very nice. Well, when you think about it, there are actually quite a few. You go, oh no, that's. But on one day you get one and you just oh that's absolutely right. Got those little outside windows done, nice chimneys in the front. All just fell into place.
You seem to do them in different sizes. Was there any reason for that? Some big and some small?
No, there wasn't. No. I try to start somewhere. Usually, I start on, if I'm on the angle like this, of course, I usually start on that corner. So that I can, in my eye, I need this much for this much of the house, and then that bit will follow. But when I was working, I was very often this way across. So I get that one in, and then work towards, so I'm not actually smudging the work on the way across.
So you're using ink first up?
In some of them, yeah, I am. And some of them were just those light lines with pencil. I don't think I ever sat down and drew a whole picture and then drew another whole picture. I don't remember doing that. One in pencil and then one in ink. It didn't work out.
So when you were halfway up the George Hotel, doing that rather complex, say, Mary of the Angels, was that all in one go?
No, that was in pencil.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't all in one go. That was in pencil, and then I think I came down to the ground level and looked up and went, well, if that's like that, it would be like that if I were looking close on or side on at it completely. But so
should get a close up of St Mary of the Angels. I'm just looking to see if I can locate it in here.
I'm really sorry about dropping our precious highlights, David.
There's a very eccentric one. The Honorary Japanese Consul's house.
Oh,
remember that?
very strange.
Curious pagoda.
Yeah.
That was good fun, and there was the Bella Vista, the baby car and the Bella Vista.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
See, there's the crumbling writings on the wall.
Right.
That's the one I was mentioning earlier.
Well, that one, because in my mind, I'd actually started a very big view of it.
Right.
I was committed then to making this smaller.
Right.
I mean, and I say a big. It's quite a big drawing if you're doing the whole lot. So I actually had to squeeze it in a bit. So
there's the baby car in the Bella Vista. This was the first car ever in New Zealand, 1904, some day like that. And the guy who had it, Bill Delaney, lived there. It's gone now. It's now 6 or 8, boxes, which they call town apartments or something.
Oh, do they really?
But this was beautiful. It had a beautiful red turret on it.
It did.
Lovely old house.
Yeah.
And this is, I think, at least we've got a record of these. Otherwise, they're gone, lost and gone forever.
They are lost and gone.
So that is one of the sort of satisfactions of this book for me, that we've recorded the scene before it passed. Far too much of it, like Lambton Quay I mentioned earlier, I love those Victoriana wedding cake, Edwardian retail shops.
Right.
And we lost a lot of Willis Street, those pubs like, well, there was the Midland in Lambton Quay, there was the Grand, Carlton.
The which?
The Carlton.
Oh yes, the Carltons.
And I think even the old Britannia, I think that's gone too.
Yes.
This is, and of course with them goes a lot of history. These were places, where people gathered and...
As you said, and a lot of those, a lot of history there.
And De Brett's was another.
Oh, right.
Which, where all the lawyers gathered.
Yes.
It's right next to the old...
all gone.
Or the old Supreme Court, which is now got this sort of...
very flashed.
Copper facade around the new one.
Yeah.
But it's, as I said before, it's the most enjoyable job I've ever had.
Well, that's lovely.
We were, as it says on the back, Pat Law did a little write-up of us, fossicers. That's what he called both of us, fossicers.
Oh, fossicers, yeah.
Fossicers,
well,
Dickensian and all that sort of thing.
What was on the other night here? That was there a busload going round just recently? Oh, probably as part of the festival things. Your tea's getting cold. Yes.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
What were they being taken on a tour of old Wellington?
That's
I think so.